Hello YouTube, Fuzz here, welcome back to Final Fantasy IX, and today we're starting Disc 4 of our Excalibur II playthrough. For those following along on Thomas's guide over at GameFAQs, with a link in description as always to that, this will cover session D4-01, and we're going to be starting the Nero family side quest, since we can actually get this done as well as getting the Excalibur II. Although we can't finish the side quest, we can do the bits we need to do before looting the sword, if that makes sense. Alright, well that's enough blabber for me, let's get started. Okay, there's our nice shiny Disc 4 image for our save file. Our first one. And boarding the airship, we're going to start by going to Limblum. I guess we can speed things up just a touch here. Slow things down again so that we can get a little bit more coordination and precision in our controls. Here we go. And we're going to not park on Limblum, but just to the side of it. You can actually park on top, but it takes a little bit longer to get to where we want to get, which is the theatre district. And also we get to save our game a little bit later. So just head to the right here and then make your way over to the theatre district, first option. And so we are going to be starting, as I said before the intro, the Nero family side quest. And this is going to involve coming back to Limblum time after time after time, every time we make some progress in the game's final dungeon. And we need to come back so many times in order to collect the reward, which is a protect ring. So every time it's a trigger point, we'll be heading back, and this is the first of many. And you can see the Nero Brothers here. For those that watched my video showing you how to do the shuffle trophy, then they won't be, you know, new characters to you. And that's it. Once they've run off, we've done the first part of the side quest and can make our way out of this place. Oh, come on, sit down. So now we're going to make our way back to the world map, flying back to the business district. And before we take off back in the airship, we are going to save our game. There we go. And we'll create a new save file at this point for the start of Disc 4. I recommend you do the same. Okay, so loading the save again here. One thing we do need to do, I should have done it in the end of the last episode actually, but not to worry about that. We do need to go ahead here and just make sure everybody has the Insomniac ability, since we will be relying on Queen to cast Night in the upcoming boss battle repeatedly. And I don't necessarily want the rest of the party members sleeping on the job as we do that. Okay, so it's time to head off to Memoria, and in order to do so we need to make our way over to the ether tree. And instead of landing next to it, we're going to actually fly straight into it. And once we hit the circle button, just make sure you do have the prompt to do so, otherwise you'll end up landing the ship. We'll end up with a few cutscenes, and we need to skip 3 cutscenes during this section, a little bit of dialogue, and then we'll be thrust immediately into the end game dungeon's first boss battle. The trick to getting this fight correct then is making sure that Queen casts Night before the boss really has a chance to do anything. So use the battle assist toggle, but at the pause menu just toggle it on and off before unpausing again to make sure everybody's ATB gauges are filled, and just try and get those attacks off as quickly as you can so that you can get this boss to sleep before it has a chance to do anything. And the trick then is going to be attacking the boss and getting it to go back to sleep. So when it's asleep, wait for everyone's ATB gauges to fill again. Attack it while it's asleep, quickly with your 3 characters, and then have Queen cast Night in order to send it straight back to sleep after waking up from the attacks. Now you'll probably still have to deal with the counter attack but that only targets a single person. So try and bring those back to life if anybody does die, and just continue on with the routine. I think this is my 4th, maybe 5th attempt on this guy. One thing I noticed is that he does have a very high speed stat, so you do have to input your commands as quickly as possible. Otherwise, you are going to be having to deal with his attacks as I did there, for example, with that psychokinesis, whatever it was. But we can get Zidane Phoenix downed here, after we've got the boss to sleep, and then we'll just continue on hitting him with physical attacks once Queen's ATB gauge is filled, so that we can go ahead and get Knight cast immediately. It is actually possible to get through this entire encounter without a single attack from the boss. It does require fast fingers on selecting commands. It does require a little bit of luck in not getting any counters, but it is possible. But either way, it's not too much of a challenging fight, and as you can see, we've managed to finish him off here with everybody still alive, which is nice, so we'll all be getting AP from this battle. So once this is finished, we'll just mash through the cutscenes. So we get the opportunity to sort our party out here, don't bother, because we're about to do so again. We're going to return to the Invincible here, and we're going to sort them out at this point with Zidane, Steiner, Freya and Amaranth. Although actually, I think if you're not doing the Nero family side quest, then you would want to sort those party members out at that first prompt rather than the second. So now we're going to make our way back to Limblum. We've got the second trigger now we've killed an Over Dragon of the Nero family side quest. So we're going to go back to the hideout and see the next scene. Off the top of my head, I think we have to do it 5 times before looting the Excalibur II weapon, and then we do the others after that. So we don't have to do them all, as I mentioned earlier, fortunately, before we get the weapon. Right, so back outside again, and the only thing left to do now is to fly back to Memoria. And we're not going to save here because we can actually save back at where it drops us off in the dungeon. So just to save a few seconds, we'll do that. So this teleporter is what you're going to be using anytime you want to come back out of the dungeon for whatever reason. So it's a handy little thing to know about. And this weird red orb is the actual save crystal in this place. It's one of them anyway. So we'll go ahead and save, and that brings us to the end of the first session of Disc 4. So we'll have a look at our time here now. And 10 hours, 28 minutes, 38 seconds. So we're good, 12 minutes ahead of schedule at this point, which I'm happy about. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take a slight detour here, away from the guide. I'll be right back with you. And bam, I've just added 2 minutes to my time. Now what have I just done? Basically, I went over to Trino and purchased the coral sword that I missed earlier on that I should have purchased from the weapon shop. I've gone ahead and done that. And the reason for that is Steiner's charge ability is going to be used on the next few encounters. And yes, we could keep improvising and not using it, but I'd rather just, since we're ahead of schedule, take those 2 minutes, go and purchase it while we have the, the freedom to do so, and then come back a little bit more prepared. But alright then guys, that's going to finish off today's episode. So thanks for stopping by. I hope you've enjoyed watching. And do come back soon and we'll continue on with our Final Fantasy IX Excalibur II playthrough. See you then. Goodbye.